On the docket tonight, double murderer Alec Murdaugh, and we have some bad news and some good news for Murdaugh. Let's start with the bad news. Take a look, folks. Brand new indictments against Alec Murdaugh. The South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson announced that the state's grand jury has issued 2 new indictments against Alec Murdaugh, 2 counts of willful attempt to evade or defeat tax. Altogether, a total of 20 indictments, including 101 charges against Murdaugh. The grand jury has indicted him for schemes to defraud victims of $8,789, $447,000, and over $600,000 to the state of South Carolina. So some bad news for Murdaugh there, but we do have some good news. He has a lot of fans, female fans, and he is receiving love letters. We got our hands on them. Here they are.
I think of you often, and I sound like a weirdo saying that because I never met you. Also, it's not like me to just feel any type of connection to someone online. I think it's a mixture of just seeing your raw emotions and truly believing you are innocent, along with your accent. That made me have a little crush on you. Sorry if that offends you. I'm just being honest.
Hey, handsome. My name is Brooke. I'm 23 years old and reside in Virginia. I'm a Caucasian girl with brown eyes, long hair. Overall, people seem to think I'm a pretty girl. I just wanted to say I watched your trial, and I've went over it many times. I just want to say I think you're a good person, no matter what other people think. And you're very cute.
The reason I'm writing you is because for the last 2 weeks, all my dreams have included you in them.
Why are you ignoring me?
I genuinely care for you. I think about you all day, every day. I think I love you.
I am constantly thinking about you. I cannot stop. I love you. Good night, Mr. Murdaugh. I hope you're getting these messages. Sweet dreams, handsome. I'm not going to give up. I don't want anything from you. I just want to know that you're going to be okay. My stomach dropped when I noticed you were online. I know it sounds pretty crazy, but I do think about you every single day. Probably a good thing you're so far away. I don't even know you. Why am I getting frustrated thinking you'll never respond? I don't know what else to say. I wish I could do something for you. Anything.
Wow. Holy mackerel, let's bring in the tank. Josh Schiffer, Molly Palmer, Meg Strickler. Who? Is this for real?
That's hot stuff,
it's
man.
real. I'm thinking that was real. Those were really passionate.
You think he gets married?
I've received a number of these messages on my social media that are very similar. So I'm going to say they're definitely real. Yeah. Those are 100% actually real
Yes, he
people.
could get married. Those get married and never meet each other.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen those stories where people on death row get married all the time?
Yes.
And there's no conjugals.
No, you can get conjugals once you're married.
How do you get a conjugal?
You arrange it through the prison.
Yeah, you have to.
They allow that. Why would they allow that?
Well, I'm not going to explain a lot
It's a
about
family show, Vinny.
Yeah, this is a family show. But no, seriously, this happens a lot.
Why would someone who's in prison be entitled
Because
to a
there's
conjugal
things
visit?
Just because you're in prison doesn't mean you have absolutely
human
no
rights.
rights whatsoever.
Yes.
It's human
How
rights.
is it a human right? At least it's a consensual conjugal visit, which is way better than a lot of the other ones in prison.
Oh, yes,
I get
that's
that.
true.
I get
That's
that.
true.
But so what do you think? Do you think he'll respond? Do you think...
I would think he's going to respond, and I think now that I'm hearing about all this, he's going to be married within, a year. We can all, make bets.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt. He's a total eligible guy. He's definitely single. He comes from a great family.
I mean, what's interesting is that, I think that this is just the beginning. We're going to see more women who are writing to him because what happens is that, I've hired a forensic psychologist in the past to look into women that find themselves involved with men like this and then ultimately find themselves involved in crime.
Could you give me a list
or
of those?
scams,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And what it comes down to, is that they like a man who really needs them.
They always say that the bad boy wins, and that's really what's happening. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys, all that good stuff.
But he murdered his wife.
But he's stoked he's getting these letters.
Whoever marries him knows where he sleeps every night.
Right.
Knows where his money's going. That's a lot of what women are looking for in a relationship these days.
And he's always receptive. He's going to call because he's going to get a cell phone from somebody so he can call daily.
Okay,
Free.
Not that I understand it, but I understand it a little bit more that one of the Menendez brothers.
That's what I was going to mention,
right?
yes.
Like I didn't understand the woman because I interviewed her. She left her husband and made her child move to California to be closer to his prison. But like I understand the Menendez brothers, but Murdaugh?
Well, you know,
Murdaugh?
some people, like myself, believe in forgiveness no matter what. So, you know.
Although I think it's just...
Yeah, I'm not going to go quite as far as Molly, first time for everything. But I believe that there are people that really are attracted to someone because they feel like they've got a connection with him somehow. He's got strong roots in the community.
And you know,
his family's
he's good.
been there forever and ever and
But
ever.
he's also a good talker. He's going to be really good.
talker.
Yes.
And really, some people are super lonely and desperate.
Yeah.
Explain to me what happens is, let's say one of these people who writes to him wants to meet him. So they can go to the prison and
Yes, he can put him
he
on
would
the
have to
list.
say it's okay,
Yeah,
though, right?
put them on their list, on his list.
And he can refuse as
He can
well.
refuse. So
Yes.
do they, is it like we see on television where there's glass
It
between
depends on what
and
you
you pick
ask
up a
for.
phone, or do they go
It
into like a
depends
common
on the prison.
area?
It depends on the prison. It really does.
How
You
about
can-
for a murderer?
It doesn't matter. It depends on the prison.
Yeah.
It really
Really?
does, yes.
You can have we call them touch tank visits, where you can literally sit in a room and shake hands and touch. Then there are ones across tables. Then there are ones behind the glass. But really, right now, what
And none
we're
of
really
us use
seeing
those
is
phones
virtual.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, virtual has just taken over the
Yes.
penal communications industry.
So explain to me this. On these virtual calls, are they monitored? Are they
100%.
censored?
They're recorded. They're listened to.
I know they're
There's-
recorded, but like if someone starts doing something,
I know what you're saying.
yes.
No, that happens. And
All the time.
They just,
so what do they do?
They just terminate the call, but there's no censorship. It's not like television where they have a delay and they can cut it off before it happens.
I'll say there's no censorship. However, I was recently doing one with a facility I'd not worked with before, and they had blurred all of the screen but my face. So the entire background, like on your typical virtual appearance, they blurred the background and it was just the face. And I think that's
It's a way to
because they
combat
were
that.
trying to combat inappropriate displays during visitation.
Right.
Because that is very
And he's
common.
like, this is
I'm
a
trying to
lot.
figure out, like, just your face.
Just my face.
Like the background or the rest of your body?
No,
blurred?
literally,
neck,
it
no
was
neck?
no neck, headless Josh,
So
floating
your body
in
was
fuzz.
blurred.
Well, yeah. You could see the unicorn head in the background.
That's some technology.
I can send you pics.
You have to. You're supposed
Wow.
Well, he's got a library.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to say on this subject matter?
No, I think we've covered it, Vinny. I think we've said everything.
I think we agreed, though, married in a year.
to. Yes, that's my vote.
We will continue to monitor it, and of course, all its cases. Take a look. He's got some cases coming up right here on your front row seat to justice. There's the boat crash case, and of course, the financial fraud case as well.